turn the camera off actually for a minute. I want to do a quick exercise beforehand.
Okay.
And I want to ask you guys not to sell out on me on this. This is something I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what I've been learning is that your relationship between you and someone else is entirely up to you. You choose what you create between yourself and another person. And pretty much what I've been discovering is that the way that I treat one person in my life, to some degree, is the way that I treat everyone in my life. And one big thing that I've tried to do in the past that I haven't really succeeded in doing is completely trusting people and completely giving that first. And if you give it, then you get it. If you're open and vulnerable at first, then it comes back to you. But you got to be willing to step forward and take that risk and take that stand. So what I'm going to do right now with you guys is I'm going to tell you that I trust you, and when you believe me, stand up. So I'm going to go one by one. And when you believe me that I trust you, then stand up. And if you sell out on me, if you just stand up the first time, don't stay seated just to be a dick. But if you just stand up the first time, then really you're not serving me or yourself. You're being incongruent.
Mm.
Okay?
Sure.
You guys aligned? Okay.
So one more time, if you tell me, you're going to tell me I trust you.
I trust you.
And you deeply mean that.
I trust you.
Right.
When you believe me, stand up.
Okay.
I trust you. I trust you. I trust you.
So just by repeating it, I'm supposed to gain this. I mean, because I could take you for your word, but by just repeating it, what is it supposed to accomplish inside me, though?
It's just when you believe that I actually do trust you.
Yeah, I mean, I believe from that speech that you trust me.
But how can
I
you
trust
trust him,
you.
though, if you haven't met him yet?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know who he is.
Or I don't know
You
what your
guys are
definition
telling me
of,
that story.
or I don't know what your definition of trust is, you know?
When you really feel like I trust you, I mean, what does trust mean to you?
Well, I think it's something that you learn through people. I mean, I trust you, yeah. What I'm trying to say is I think from what you said, and I mean, from what I know, like, you seem like a really nice guy, so I don't know why I wouldn't trust you. Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to get you to trust me. I don't care so much if you trust me.
So just whenever okay.
When you really,
Why?
Okay.
I mean, I think I trust you, really. Why not?
Thank you.
Okay, so again, it's trust on, like, what type of trust do you mean?
It's like, do you really feel that I trust you? I mean, what does trust mean to you?
I think there's different levels that I would trust you on some things, but I want to trust you on other things because I haven't met you.
Yeah, yeah.
So does it mean if I have a good outlook on what type of person you are?
No, it has nothing to do with you. When you really feel like I trust you, that's what I'm focusing on right now. Like, do you feel like I trust you as a person?
You trust me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I trust you as a person? Like, obviously not enough to,
I
like,
get it, I get it.
have my baby or
Right,
something.
of course.
But, like, do you feel like I trust you as a person?
Like he would lead, like he could leave you the keys to his car, or give you a suitcase of $100 or something.
Or no,
Yeah.
A
something,
suitcase of $100.
something that Wandy would be more
you-
susceptible to, like banana bread. If you leave him some
Right.
banana bread, would you trust him not to eat it?
I trust you. I trust you.
You work for it.
You make him do it twice. Don't even
I trust
speak.
you. Okay. So that was kind of cool, and this is the type of stuff that I've been working on. Really, is like what you can turn that back on now. I wanted to just
Okay.
do that because
Well, it was on the whole
technically-
time, so you shouldn't have trusted me.
I got burned. Okay. So do you realize how rare it is that someone in your life just actually like puts themselves out there for you and trusts you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how often do people kind of hold you at a level lower than where you are? They expect you to kind of not be someone who's trustworthy. They expect you to be someone who's untrustworthy, who's selfish, who's greedy, who's whatever, you know?
Mhm.
Like, all of these expectations that people have of each other, they're mostly things that they think about themselves, that they see in other people as a mirror of themselves. So it's really interesting when you go into, like, I've done this in a room with, like, tons of people, and when you go around to people and you say something like, I trust you, some people just won't believe it, and it's not true. Like, it's not true until I feel it enough to the point that you also feel it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can tell you all day long that I trust you, but if you don't believe me, then what does that really create? So this is kind of what I wanted to talk about today is, like, what is the greatest asset that you can have? Has anyone read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It talks about assets are basically just, the simplest definition of an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So it's like, what is the greatest asset that you can possibly have?
Trust.
Is it trust?
Do you want it to be trust because you think he thinks you should get trust?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, this is getting really meta. Is it trust?
What are you talking about?
Are you at-
What type of world are you talking about?
In your life right now, like, what is the greatest asset that you could have, do you think?
Time.
Time?
Health.
Health?
It's not time.
Time
Health.
and health is good, man. Health is good.
I would say those are resources more
No,
than
because
assets.
I have health and time and I haven't done shit. So,
So
So it's the best asset you can have.
an asset is something that adds value to your life.
motivating trauma.
Motivating trauma. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. You know what I think it is people. Like, sincerely, the greatest possible thing that you can have, that you can build in your life, is trust with other people, is vulnerability and openness and authentic caring about other people. But it's really difficult to actually do this. Like, we hold ourselves back from really investing in someone else, and a lot of the time it's because we don't trust them. Like, can you guys think of an example from your history of, like, someone who you spent a lot of time with, you're really good friends, or maybe a girl, or someone, your best childhood friend, and then you spent a lot of time with this person, really got to know them, and then they left, and they're out of your life now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there's tons of examples of this stuff like that, right? So we have all this reference material in our brains on why we shouldn't trust people, and so we stop giving people the opportunity to actually even prove themselves, because we just hold them at such a low level. We just say, you know what, these people aren't even worth my time, they're not worth trusting, they're not worth my investment, they're just not worth it. And so we don't put ourselves out there and say, you know what, I trust you. Like, I'm here. I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm
Right.
here, I'm trusting you. And it's tricky, it's uncomfortable, right?
So, John, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to trust someone blindly until they prove that they're not worthy of your trust.
For me, it's basically the frame that you come into it with. So are you coming into a frame with another person and saying, this person is down here until they prove themselves to be up here?
Okay.
Or are you saying, this person is up here no matter what, no matter which level they're choosing to live at? So if they choose to live down here, yeah, that's a disappointment, but I'm going to call them back up here.
Mhm.
Like, this is what I see this group about, and this is why I love this group, is like, this is about, like, a group of guys like us holding each other in our greatness and saying, you know what, I'm not going to put up with your bullshit. I'm not going to stand here and let you be like, oh, that's just the way I am. Fuck that. You can be who you want. You can do what you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I communicating?
Mhm.
Okay. Next thing. So when you have a lot of people that in your lives that you've basically built up these favors with, you do favors for people, right? You build trust. You trust them that they're going to repay you back later on, so you give them something first. If I give you a book, then probably, I mean, reciprocity dictates that you're probably going to feel indebted to me and at some point return that favor. Now, a lot of people mess up because they try and do it as like an immediate give-take, right? They say, okay, I'm going to do something nice for you, and then they call that favor immediately. But what happens is when you don't call in these favors, then they actually like compound over time. So if you just keep doing nice things for everyone in your life, just keep doing little nice things, just whatever, compliment here, a smile there, a hug, whatever. Just all these things, they build up over time, and you get a network of people who basically all really like you as a person because you've given them so much. And they're going to give you opportunities, they're going to give you support, they're going to give you whatever you need when you need it. So basically, you really want to be careful though, like what type of people you choose to put in your network, because if you build up a big network of takers, then you're going to be drained. Because they're just going to be taking everything from you, and especially if you decide that you're going to be a giver with your time, that you're going to provide value in the world instead of take value, then you're going to be you're going to be drained if you fill up your network with takers, right? Because you're going to be given all the time and not getting anything back. So what you want to look for is people like you guys here, because I mean you're here. This is what we're doing, is giving each other